You ever feel like you're constantly rushing through life? Like you're behind on something, even when there's nothing urgent happening? Maybe you're replaying conversations, planning every step ahead, or thinking about what people think of you, while your actual life just floats by in the background. Someone recently messaged me and shared that she's in her head a lot, and because of it, she often feels disconnected from the present moment. She told me she misses things happening right in front of her, and that if she could be more present, she would feel more alive. And that got me thinking, because that's not a random experience. That's typically what happens when your unconscious agenda takes over. You're not actually living or creating anything, you're just existing and thinking. And the worst part is, a lot of people think this is somehow spiritual. They think it's conscious, but it's not. It's survival. Always looping on potential threats or trying to fix problems. Today, I'm going to show you the truth about why being in your head is not the same as being present, and how to stop overthinking and finally start living on purpose and in full presence. Let's dive in. So here's the trap a lot of high-functioning people fall into. They confuse thinking about life with actually being in life. They confuse awareness with analysis. They've trained themselves to observe every thought, monitor every emotion, and dissect every decision, but none of that is presence. That's mental control disguised as consciousness. And the moment you try to figure it all out, you've already left the structure that creates. You're stuck in your head searching for answers in a place that was only meant to process, not create. You're trying to use your rational mind, your limited mind, to solve a problem that your superconscious already knows how to resolve perfectly. You think more mental chatter will get you closer to clarity. But clarity doesn't come from thinking. It comes from the right structure, from the tension between where you are and what you've truly chosen. Let me explain. When you're clear on your end result, and you've objectively measured where you currently are in life in relation to that end result, you create what's called structural tension. And that tension you feel when you do that is just the result of you stepping into the emotion of the end result that you want and simply noticing that it's not there yet. It's not a problem. It doesn't mean something's wrong with you. In fact, it's actually the opposite. It's a sign that you've set up the right system, that you've created a gap your life wants to close. That tension isn't there to be avoided. It's there to be used, to move you, to propel you forward into aligned action, into momentum, into insights and intuition that you never had access to when you were just spinning in your head. See, you're always in one of two structures. It's like being carried by one of two rivers, both flowing downhill, but in completely different directions. You're either in a creative structure moving toward what you've chosen, or you're in your unconscious agenda driven by fear, safety, and old patterns. And when you don't hold that creative tension, when you don't keep moving toward what you want while thinking and feeling like you already have it, your system slips right back into the unconscious agenda. The agenda that says, I need to stay safe. I can't afford to fail. Something's still broken. I need to fix it before I move. That's what survival mode looks like. It feels like thinking, like going in circles in your head, overanalyzing, second-guessing, running through every possible what if. Now, you might call it preparation, but really, it's just paralysis. You're thinking 1,000 thoughts, but not actually moving. And before you realize it, you're out of the game, stuck in survival mode again, wondering why nothing's changing. Here's where it gets tricky. A lot of people are smart. They've read the books, they listen to the podcasts, they can quote spiritual teachers and neuroscientists and all that, but their life still doesn't reflect what they know. Why? Because all that knowledge stayed in their head. Instead of using it as a tool for action, they use it as a way to stall. Thinking became a distraction, a way to delay the leap, a mental safety blanket that says, if I just understand it better, then I will be ready. But again, readiness doesn't come from more thinking or understanding. It comes from making a choice, deciding what you want and letting that decision drive your actions, even if it's messy. That kind of structure doesn't wait for clarity. It creates it. And if you're always stuck in figuring it out, you're not being wise. You're being cautious. You're playing it safe and pretending it's wisdom. Now, let's do a quick mental shift. I want you to imagine for a quick second that you already have the thing that you're working toward. The business is flowing. Your body feels strong and confident. You're in a relationship that feels effortless and fun. You wake up in a home you love, doing work that excites you, surrounded by people who actually get you. Nothing feels off. It all just fits. Now ask yourself this. In that version of you, are you still spinning in your head? Or are you just doing, being, living? See, that sense of ease, like you're fully there, not chasing or reaching, that's presence. That's the emotional frequency of someone who is already at their end result. They're not second guessing. They're not debating every move. They're not analyzing how to be more present. They just are. That's what I help people create. Clarity that comes from a true end result. And then stepping into their choice to reach the wizard's gate where there is no desire and no resistance. You just feel at ease. And soon, an aligned next step shows up, one you can take without spinning in your head. That's the structure creators live from. Now, let's bring it back to the message I shared earlier. She said, when I'm in my head, I feel disconnected. I miss things. My body reacts to my thoughts like they are real. And honestly, I don't feel like I exist. This is actually more common than you think. People are walking around derealized, feeling like life is happening around them, not with them. They miss conversations, opportunities, the way their coffee smells, the way their partner looks at them, their own creative spark, because they are not in life. They are in thought. And the body actually can't tell the difference. When you imagine being judged, your heart rate spikes. When you replay a painful memory, your shoulders tense up. When you worry about money, your stomach drops. So every time you drift into those loops, you're training your body to live in the past or fear the future. And that's no way to create a life you love. The shift is actually simple, but it's not what most people expect. It's not about quieting your mind. It's not about meditating harder, journaling more, or learning to tolerate discomfort. It's about stepping out of the unconscious agenda and stepping into creative structure. It's about deciding or choosing to live a life you love. Choosing to be the predominant creative force of your life. And then allowing the choice to create tension. Tension between who you are now and who you've just chosen to be. And once it's there, you don't run from that tension. You don't try to resolve it with your rational mind. You don't sit there planning the perfect next step because logic is limited. It can only pull from what you already know. So instead, you turn inward. You tap into the part of you that's already connected to the outcome. Your superconscious. The higher intelligence that sees what you can't. That has access to all the relevant information, people, timing, events, opportunities, and knows exactly what you need to do next. You want to listen for the signal to receive the next aligned action. And when you got it, don't overthink it, just move with trust. So if you're tired of feeling rushed, disconnected, and like you're missing life as it happens, come join my free Skool group. Most people try to think their way to clarity, but it doesn't work. Because clarity doesn't come first. Choice does. But here's what I found. Most people don't even know what they truly want. Because years of programming have taught them to play it safe instead of create what's on their heart. Inside the group, I'll help you reconnect to what you actually want to create and show you how to access your superconscious to make it real. No more spinning in your heads, no more waiting for the right moments. Just clear decisions, aligned action, and finally, the feeling that you're living a life that's yours. Click the link in my bio or in the description, and I'll see you inside.